Hi everyone and welcome. This is not a necessary video, but it's kind of necessary. I have to refill. I sold out of all my oat milk and honey, 120 bombs, gone, both between a local store that I had sent them to and online sales. I'm out. So it's time to make some more. So I thought I'm gonna have to make them anyway. Maybe you wouldn't mind coming along for the ride, okay? So we're gonna start out, of course, with our baking soda. And I do pre-measure all of my ingredients in plastic bags. I've talked about this before, and this one's been reused about 20 times. It's really great for that, but I always use the baking soda bag for baking soda, the citric acid, and so on and so on. And here we have our citric acid, but I'm first going to sift our baking soda to get out any clumps that may be there. As you can see, there's some rather large clumps in there. So sometimes, it will break them up, but I give it a little head start by breaking up those great big chunks. All right, so next we're going to sift our citric acid. So I'm officially on vacation right now from work. I had, before the job opportunity that I mentioned in the last video, I had already arranged to take some time off for a wedding, not my own, that's someone else's, but I won't get into the details of that. But I'd already taken this time off and purchased travel and all that sort of stuff, and then all of this started happening at work. So I have taken the time off, but if I am perchance hired for the position that I had mentioned, then of course I will have to cut that trip short. Cream of tartar now. I'll put the measurements that I use in the description of this video. This is what I think works really well for me. It may not be for everyone. And also it's modified for this specific recipe containing the ingredients that it contains. This is my goat milk from my own goats that I've had dehydrated locally, and the colloidal oats. So we've got our milk and our oats here. And I combine those just so I don't have to use another bag, that's all. All right. So same thing, we're going to get these sifted through. And again, we have a few there that are, sticky. I don't want those in the bath bombs, so filter those out. There are our dry ingredients. So what I'm going to do now is kind of blend all this together before we add in our wet ingredients. One of the wonderful things I think about making your own products, whether it be soap, whether it be bath bombs, whether it be lotions, whether it be bombs or potions, elixirs, whatever it is that you do, please take pleasure. Don't think of it as a task. It isn't a task. If it feels like a task, maybe you need a little bit of guidance on how to turn it into a joyful event. Oh, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. There are times when things are hectic in life and I think, oh no, I've got to go make more lotion, or oh, I've got to make more, you know. Sure, we all encounter that from time to time. But I suppose what I'm saying is just try to find joy one way or the other in whatever task you are doing. Life is too short to do things you don't want to do. The reason why I take joy in making things like this is because I'm making them specifically for people, for the joy that they can bring people. And that can vary from person to person, obviously, but it's such a fun thing to be able to do. You know, when I see feedback on Etsy, someone says something so sweet. I have had just some of the kindest comments on Etsy that go straight to my heart. When people say something along the lines of, you can tell by the quality of the ingredients that this is made with love. You know, nothing could be truer. I do feel love for the product and for the people that are getting the items. I saw one little clump there. Just want to make sure it's broke down. It's absolutely true. Okay, so I think these ingredients are well mixed here. All right, here I have Manuka honey, sunflower lecithin, and apricot kernel oil. And that is the trifecta: the honey, the colloidal oats, and the goat milk, making this just a luscious goat milk, oats, and honey bath fizzy. Okay, so this is the test that it is mixed when it starts holding together like this. It's not quite enough moisture. I mean, these will break up. So I will, of course, before I start molding them, spray them just a bit with some, I have some 99% alcohol that I'll be using to just moisten them enough so that they hold together to get them molded. Oop. Well, that one just came right out, didn't it? Look at that. Oop. Well, that one was really anxious to come out of the mold, wasn't it? Okay, so I'm also remaking my, I've ran out of my rose bombs as well, so I'm remaking those, and while I'm making them, I separated out part of it for my rose with the ingredients there, with the everything, including the rose clay that's in it, the rose kaolin clay. I'm also making some lavender essential oil bombs, and they also have the pink clay in them, but I also added a teaspoon of blue indigo to try to come up with a lavender. I don't know. I hope that it comes out as lavender when it hits the water. Right now I know it has kind of a blue-gray appearance to it, but I have high hopes. So we'll test some before the video is over, just to see if we get some form of lavendery purple color or not. But they are going to be filled with delicious lavender essential oil, so I think that will make these just really fantastic. Here is one of our mini bombs, and let's see what we get. Oh, there's the other piece there. And I think that is exactly what I was hoping for. A few little lavender buds. Okay, let's compress them here with our little hand bath bomb maker that I got off Etsy, which I've been very pleased with. All right, set that aside. Someone said to me once, do you use essential oils? Do you think they're safer than fragrance oils? I think that they're safer than some fragrance oils. And I think that there's some fragrance oils that are much safer to use than essential oils. Let's use for an example citrus. Citrus essential oils are wonderfully refreshing and invigorating, especially I think during the warmer months of the year. And I love to have the fragrance around me. But citrus essential oils can, for instance, put in a lotion or something that stays on the skin, can cause sun sensitivity on the skin. Meaning that, let's say you put on some wonderful citrus lotions that make you smell like a delicious fruit bowl, and then you go out in the sun, it can cause you to have a reaction. The sun will have an effect on those essential oils, on the citrus essential oils, thus causing you some sun sensitivity, breakouts and burning and that sort of thing. And that's not to my knowledge, that's not something just to people that have sensitivities like me, but to even the general population. So in that case, if you really want to smell like citrus, that would be an instance where using a citrus fragrance would be more appropriate, as long as it is safe for skin. It's skin safe. Sorry about that, I got tongue-tied. Which is an expression I can use because I was indeed tongue-tied as a child, as I've talked about in other videos. In case you don't know what that means, when I was a baby up until I was several years old, because I'm adopted and a lot of different reasons why it wasn't fixed earlier. When I was a baby, my tongue, when I was born, my tongue was attached to the lower part of the inside of my mouth. It wasn't odd to me because it was me, it's all I knew. But it caused me to, from a young age, not be able to speak properly, and took years and years of speech therapy once the procedure was done to release my tongue. And as my mother often said, my tongue never stopped moving after that, referring to my propensity for talking. But I did take years and years of speech because I was tongue-tied. So when I use that phrase, like I'm tongue-tied, I'm not actually tongue-tied anymore, but there are still remnants of it. I think I told many of you, or shared with many of you, that I once had to, here, I'll show you one of these where the top just fell off, but just you can see, doesn't that look lovely? I think the color is just terrific. And, you know, I've babbled on long enough. I'm sorry. I do tend to do this. And in case someone might ask, why would you talk about yourself so much? It's a subject that I know so very well. And I believe there's a proverb or a poem or a song that says, know thyself. And I think I know myself pretty darn well. I think that's a subject of which I am quite an expert on. I know that there are people that may still be looking for who they are, who, you know, what they're all about inside. I understand that. It can take many years. And I'm lucky that at my age now, because I didn't think I would ever figure myself out. I think I learned survival at a young age, but we're about a lot more than just surviving. And I'm very happy that I did survive, though, and make it here so that I could be here with you all now. And the main reason is that I learned quite young that, well, not quite young, it took me a while to pick it up, that I had value. And did you know you have value? You do. And do you know what that means, to have value? I'm not talking about purpose. That's something only you know about. I don't know what your purpose is. That can be different, because I don't think we all have to have a purpose. That's a subject for another time. But you do have worth, and you do have value. And sometimes that can be difficult to determine what your value is, what your worth is, so to speak. And a lot of that is determined by what you actually do in your life that doesn't get you attention. What do I mean by that? If you do a good deed, you're in a grocery line and you see a poor mother struggling with her children in line and counting pennies to pay for her food, diapers, formula, whatever the case may be. Why not jump in front of her and say, you know what? I found this $100 bill, or I recently got a raise and I was trying to figure out how to spend that money, and I would love if you would allow me to pay for your groceries today. I'm just in the mood to pay for someone's groceries. Will you allow that, right? Not for a YouTube video, not for the local news to say what a wonderful person this was that they paid for this poor mother's groceries. No, it's just for you to know that you did this. Only you. Don't share it with anyone else. That is what, to me, self-value is about. You're putting value on yourself. You don't have to make it about yourself on the external, meaning you don't have to have the approval of other people to say, oh, isn't that person wonderful for doing this wonderful thing? No, there's no need for that. Try it. Try doing something that no one else knows you did. Or that only one person knows that you did, right? the person that you do it for, or do it invisibly. You know, there are ways to do that as well. But do these good things in your life, you know. I had a coworker at a previous position that I held a long time ago. But I had a coworker who had a child who was quite ill. And another employee decided to do something to help them. And it's all they could talk about. All the things that they were doing for this person, which were wonderful things, right? That were wonderful to do for someone, that certainly was something that person could be proud of. But why were they telling others about what the thing that they had done? Things for you to think about, okay? And I know we live in a world where everything is quantified and recorded and put forth on a TikTok or Instagram for the world to see and for us to get more likes and clicks and ads for our videos. And that's all fine and dandy for entertainment purposes. But I'm just saying, for things like this, you don't have, for the good deeds that you do that add value to who you are, just keep that to yourself. To me, that makes you a very valuable person indeed. All right. So I'm going to clean up here and finish up some other bath bombs that I have to make, but I want to say thank you all for coming along. Look at my lavendery blue fingers. But I want to thank you all so very much. It's been great being with you today. Sorry that I got off on my soapbox, so to speak. Thank you and have a beautiful day, everyone. Goodbye.